There's a widespread misconception that if you're a 501c3 nonprofit, you can't lobby. And if you do, you're dealing in some shady business, using loopholes you shouldn't. But here's the truth. 501c3s, which are the most restricted types of nonprofits, can legally lobby with specific limits, and they should. Getting involved in the legislative process and having a say in policy discussions is vital for all organizations. If you're not speaking on behalf of your community or cause, chances are nobody else is either. But understanding what is C3 permissible and what isn't is critical to staying on the right side of the law and making an impact. Fortunately, it's pretty easy to tell the difference once you understand the difference between advocacy and lobbying. Advocacy is C3 permissible. Some lobbying under the legal limit is permissible, but formal and habitual lobbying is not. So what's the difference between advocacy and lobbying? Let's start with a clear definition of what lobbying is so you know what to avoid. Lobbying consists of communications that are intended to influence specific legislation. Having a conversation with the lawmaker is not automatically lobbying, but if you're talking about a specific bill, it is. So C3 lobbying tip number 1, don't talk about any specific bill or legislation. Let's use an example. An organization communicates with state legislators in favor of a bill that would restrict the development of coastal sand dunes. Okay, let's try that again, but 501c3 compliant. An organization urges a local zoning board to prohibit commercial zoning of coastal sand dunes. We didn't mention a specific bill, and we didn't ask a lawmaker to vote for or against a bill. Instead, we asked a government agency to change its policy. That's one example of a few ways to safely do policy advocacy as a C3 organization. Here are a few more totally safe ways to lobby as a 501c3. Asking a government agency to change its policies, rules, or regulations is a safe bet. In fact, you can ask the executive branch to do anything so long as it's not asking them to sign or veto legislation. Key word being legislation. Your organization can develop a general position on a policy issue as long as you don't reduce it to a specific bill or piece of legislation. So while a 501c3 organization might not be able to lobby for a specific wetlands bill, they can promote a policy platform that is pro-wetlands and talk to lawmakers about it. You can testify before a legislative committee if your organization received a written request from the committee to testify. You can prepare a report on a particular issue and send it to lawmakers so long as the report does not reflect a view on any specific pending legislation nor any specific legislative proposal. You can organize a nonpartisan voter registration drive, but your educational material has to state the position of all candidates without any evaluation of the candidates and cover a broad range of issues without any bias or describe the candidate's position on a set of issues in a way that does not show bias or preference. Curious to learn more about how to lobby as a 501c3? Check out boulderadvocacy.org for more resources.